Somewhere in the Middle East, there are two armies face to face in the Valley of Elah. On one side is the nation of Israel led by King Saul. Opposite them is an invading force of the Philistines led by their champion, a giant named Goliath. Now, this guy's pretty intimidating. He stands well over 9 feet tall, and every day for 40 days he comes out to the front of the battlefield and yells at the Israelites, challenging them to send someone their size to fight him. But nobody does. And why would they? I mean, he's a giant. Plus, he's armed to the teeth with bronze armor that weighs about 5,000 troy ounces of gold. That's like 8 pounds of pure gold, just the armor. To top it all off, he has this huge sword, like a foot wide and 6 feet long. I mean, if that isn't enough to scare you, he also carries a spear that weighs about 200 shekels, which is like 7 pounds. So the Israelite soldiers look over at their champion and ask, "Hey, anybody want to go fight a giant?" But for 40 days, nobody steps forward. And so the Israelites are kind of scared, and they think they're going to lose the battle. But then one day, a young man leaves the Israelite camp and goes out to the battlefield. His name is David. He's only about 18 years old. He's not even supposed to be there, but he's visiting his brothers who are fighting in the war. He brings them food and water, maybe some figs or something, and he's been doing this for several days. And on this particular day, as he approaches the battlefield, he hears the Philistines shouting and laughing and making fun of the Israelites. And at the center of it all, he hears Goliath yelling, "You Israelites, why don't you come and fight? Why don't you send your best man? Your guys' best is not good enough." Then he yells back to the Israelite camp, "I challenge you again. Send someone out to fight me." So David gets angry at this point. It says in the Bible that his blood boiled. He looked at the Philistines and asked what they were saying. And when his brothers told him what was going on, that the men were challenging Israel to send somebody to fight them, David said, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should be able to taunt the ranks of the living God?" In other words, that's my God you're messing with. Then David stayed in the camp, but his heart was stirred within him because he wanted to go fight this guy. So after David had done what he needed to do with his brothers, he went into the city. Now the city is probably Bethlehem, where he lived. And he went to the place where they kept the sacred supplies. And there he got himself some bread, some more figs, some raisins, some wine. Then he took 5 smooth stones from a stream nearby and put them in his bag. He grabbed his staff and his sling and he went out to meet Goliath. When Saul saw David coming, he asked his men, "What's that skinny kid doing out there?" David's friends told him, "He wants to fight Goliath." So Saul said, "Well, let's get him in here. Maybe he can help us." And he brought David into his presence. Now, King Saul was trying to give David his armor, and he wanted David to wear it when he went out to fight. But David wore it around the palace. But when David wore it to go fight Goliath, it didn't work. So David said, "No, I can't wear this. I'm not used to this stuff. And besides, I have to fight with my sling. This thing's too heavy." He took the armor off, left it there with Saul, and walked out to fight Goliath. And when Goliath saw David coming, he was laughing. And he yelled, "Hey, little kid, are you gonna fight me? What's the matter? Afraid to fight? Come on, come on!" He made fun of David. But David responded by saying, "You come against me, you know, with sword and spear. But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you up into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head with the sword. All the earth will see." And then David did what he did. He took one of those stones in his bag, loaded it into his sling, swung it around his head, and flung it at Goliath. And it hit him right in the forehead, right between his eyes, and the stone stuck in his forehead, and he fell on his face. And David ran and grabbed Goliath's sword, finished him off. Then David ran over to the Philistine camp, and the Philistines were so scared of David, they started running away. They abandoned their camp and their tents and their stuff, and they started fleeing for their lives, and the Israelites chased after them and beat them. So David became famous for defeating Goliath, and he won the respect of the entire nation. King Saul even liked him a lot, and he ended up becoming a member of Saul's court. He helped save Israel from the Philistines. And later on, David became king of Israel. And he did a lot of great things. He defeated many enemies. He was known as a great warrior. And throughout his life, he never forgot that it wasn't him, it was God who won the battle with Goliath. Let's take a moment to learn some lessons from this story. Number 1, God can use anyone. When Goliath was taunting the Israelites, he was looking for their best fighter. He wanted somebody really big and strong to go out and fight him. But when David came out, he was just a young teenager. He was just a boy. He was small. He was inexperienced. He wasn't even a soldier. But God doesn't call us based on our size or our background or our experience. He calls us based on our faith. And I think that's what David showed us. Lesson number 2. Victory isn't always ours. Sometimes we think that if we just get bigger or stronger or we have more training or better equipment, then we'll be more successful. But David shows us that true victory isn't found in our own strength or our equipment. It's found in trusting God's strength. He knew that God had delivered him from lions and bears when he was a young shepherd. And he trusted that God would deliver him from Goliath. Okay, I want you to take a second to look around you. Take a look at the person next to you. Take a look at the person across the room. Wherever you are right now, I want you to look around you and remember that God is in control. And he can take somebody who seems weak and insignificant and make them strong and powerful. Now, most of us will never fight a literal giant in our life. We don't have any giants that we're aware of. But we do face different kinds of giants, problems that seem overwhelming, circumstances that feel impossible. And the truth is, no matter what we face in life, we can trust that God is bigger than our giants. So no matter what problem you're facing today, no matter what giant you're facing today, remember David's victory over Goliath, and remember that you don't have to be the biggest or the strongest or have the best equipment to win. You just have to believe in the God who is stronger than any giant. I hope this video blessed you today. If it did, share it with a friend, and maybe God will use it to bless them too. Thanks for watching. See you next time.